Woo, Professor, this video is not 2 days late. Woo! From all the crazy things AI is spitting out these days, it's no news that AI is progressing. AI keeps dropping songs, images, essays, and code, and God knows what else, dude.
I'm geeked of that 6-7 article, twin.
Every week, there's something new that looks a little bit too clean to be human, The hype, keeps going on, but how far can it go? How far can it go when it tries to create something that relies on rhythm, timing, and voice? So, I picked a genre where hesitation gets exposed immediately. A space where flow either locks in or everything falls apart. So I asked AI to make me a diss track. When I started the project, I didn't know what I was gonna pick, I was probably gonna do something a news article or, something that AI can give me, but, we gotta keep it a little human, So that's why I pick a diss track. Diss tracks are usually unforgiving. If one element is off, like the beat, the lyrics, or the flow, then the whole thing collapses, So this genre has an apparent blueprint, it has three. One, a beat that hits hard and matches the flow, It has a clean structure like the intro, the hook, the verse, something like that. Number two is the lyrics that go for the throat, that's rhythmic, direct, and meant to land, You gotta hit where it hurts, And three is the delivery that carries attitude even when the words are simple. Every part has a job, The beat sets the energy, the hook locks it in, and the verse delivers the punch. And if those pieces don't sync up, then the beat is kinda ass, not gonna lie. The track doesn't sound like a diss. It sounds like a mess. So this assignment became less about making a cool song and more about looking how AI handles a genre and how we could collaborate with the AI. I used ChatGPT to build everything from the ground up. Beat layout, melody, drum structure, lyrics, and even how the hook and verse should be arranged came straight from the AI, As you can see from here, I didn't tweak anything. I didn't fix it. Whatever the AI told me to do, I did. And what did ChatGPT do? Well, it picked a tempo of 140 beats per minute, picked a key of D minor, and it gave me this melody that I'll show you here. It was kind of hard to follow at first. But and same with the drums because ChatGPT is just a text-based AI, and I have to convert that text into music. So this setup made the AI the primary creative driver, and I was the executor. The goal wasn't to make it sound good, because that'll be putting my input into it. I have to see what AI can do when I remove my taste, instinct, and musical judgment from the equation. So I basically became middleman between an LLM and a DAW. And once I hit play, I couldn't change absolutely anything, even when I felt like it didn't feel right, This was a collaboration, but not the kind most people picture, there's no human co-producer, no friend throwing ideas, and it was just me and the AIs, getting along, back and forth like a really obedient, slightly tone-deaf studio partner. So every part of the track was decided through this dialogue, So this is how it's made. I followed the steps from what vibe it wants, and then the structure of the beat, which is where the hook, the intro, the verses is all gonna be. And then after that, I followed the instrument layers. Starting from the melody, it told me where to place some notes. I tried my best to follow that. Same idea with bass. It tells me where and how I should time it. And same with the drums. It asks me where to time it. And after the entire beat is created, everything is created, I had no freedom. Then I had to follow the verses and the lyrics, and that is that. I followed each instruction directly in GarageBand, bar after bar, and the process felt, it felt structured and clear, but almost too clear, There's no space for instinct. No moment where I stopped and thought, this doesn't sound right, But that was the point of it, No personal correction, no improvising, just strict execution to the AI. The AI talks to me, and I built it. And that's how the song was born, line by line, note by note. Like, it's like following a recipe that you know it already tastes like shit, And when I heard the final track, boy, it was ass. Like, it was so shit. Like, the problems showed up really fast. 1, the bass didn't follow the beat. Like, it sounded like it's arguing with the beat. Number 2, the beat felt stiff. It didn't build energy or drive to flow like the diss track should. And 3, the lyrics were just so stupid. Like, they're so cheesy. Like, Drake lyrical cheesiness. No bite, no grit, or rhythm that locked to the instrumental. And 4, the flow felt super robotic. Like, there was no soul into the flow. And all those things are a combination to make one total disaster. Like, everything was slightly off, and there's something that's not right. When working on a genre that depends on tight rhythm, being slightly off could mean one way from being a really good diss track to one that's like a joke, And the worst part is seeing that train wreck coming halfway through, I could feel the pain. I could feel how bad it is. But because this project was about strict collaboration with AI, I just kept building. Like a obedient little baby there. And this is the result. Yeah, you really thought I'd fail that? Try to mark me down? Nah, I'm grading you back. Grade me wrong, that's a funeral. Bar so factual, not fictional. The red line, now I'm lyrical. Flip your rubric symmetrical. Grade me wrong, that's a funeral. Class dismissed on the principle. Wrote my fate, I wrote the rule. Now I'm hanging you back as 02. Dang, you savage, you can't revise me. Thought I break, now you mistype me. Rubric weekend, boxy fine. You teach words, I breathe them lively. Let my tone too bold, that's irony. Still top tier, no curve could hide me. You drop grades, I drop bars nightly. You correct test, I correct timing. Grade me wrong, that's a funeral. Yeah. Mark my name, it's inscrutable. Talk that chalk, I'm a proof in full. Can't fail saying when it's beautiful. Grade me wrong, that's a funeral. Whole class knows who's suitable. Try to write me out delusional. Now 10 steps past your cubicle. Lesson's over. Now stay silent. When I step back and look at the track through a rhetorical lens, every prominent element missed its purpose, the context. The diss track depends on confrontation, a personal target, emotional intensity, and spontaneous timing. The AI followed the form, but there is no sense of conflict, no urgency. It delivered the words without understanding why they're supposed to sting the situation. The song existed in a vacuum. There is no real audience, there is no reason to diss anyone, and the AI doesn't personally know the professor or the English professor well, so the energy wasn't connected to a motive. The structure was correct, there was a rhyme scheme going on, but the moment wasn't there. It wasn't really that personal. And even if I want to make it personal, AI would not let me do that because it's against their policy. Discourse. Rap battles thrive on authenticity and voice. Each line is meant to reveal a personality. The AI's language sounded recycled, very generic, like stitched together from recognized pattern. That repetition drained the individuality that this diss track needs to survive. The delivery. Every syllable counts in rhythm-based writing. The AI placed words on beat but ignored the weight and breath. Lines landed where they're supposed to, but without tension or release. That's why it sounded very metronome than a performance. So we have these 5 evaluation criteria that we can come up with to analyze how good the AI did on this diss track. 1. Does it beat match intensity and pace the genre expects? Hell no. It drifted. Number 2. Are lyrics sharp and rhythmic? Not really. It's kind of generic with a generic rhyme scheme, it's just all out generic and pretty general for its diss, you know. It's not very specific on who it's dissing other than a professor. Number 3, does the delivery structure give the track energy? No, it's just very rigid, not much build up. Number 4, would this pass in a real rap or diss track community? Nah, it would not. It wouldn't because it's very broad and the disses it makes is so generalized. There is no burn, there is no personal, it's just very general, and that's what makes it bad. This project revealed and exposed what happens when an AI leads a creative process without human input guiding the outcome. For ethical implications, there's a weird tension where a machine generates something under my name. It doesn't own art, it shapes it. When a result is bad, the accountability still falls on me, not the tool. For the creative implications, the AI understood the structure, but didn't understand the intent. It arranged sound, but it did not make music. It generated words, but it did not build a voice. Every creative decision was technically correct, but it was emotionally empty. For cultural implications, rap, especially diss tracks, lives inside communities that value personality, presence, and respect for craft. AI can mimic surface level patterns, but it doesn't speak the language like we do. The gap immediately shows from the very first bar. This whole project ended up being more honest than I expected. I went in with a simple plan. Give the AI control, follow every instruction, and see what happens. The track flopped, but that failure did precisely what I needed to do. It showed where the line is between machine output and human expression. The AI handled the technical side just fine. It gave me bars, beats, structures, all laid out like a checklist, but that's all it was, a checklist. No instinct, no rhythm that breathes, no real voice. This project reminds me that genre is about intention, emotion, and control, not the form. When I gave all the control away, that song died on arrival. AI provided the foundation, but I learned where real authorship sits, in the creative decisions that shape the final voice. It made me rethink about the relationship between AI and writing. It showed me the difference between generating something and actually creating it.